Hi, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to Pink Lady Presents It Ain't Over Till You Say It's Over. And today, we are definitely going to prove that it doesn't have to be over. My guest today is a very special gentleman, Dr. Scott Kaiser from the Motion Picture Television Fund. And before we even start, Dr. Kaiser, if you don't mind, a lot of our people, friends out there, really don't know what the Motion Picture Television Fund is. So we're going to show them, and then we'll get back to talking.
Perfect.
In 1921, Mary Pickford created a support system for workers in the entertainment industry, a family that would support each other in times of need, the Motion Picture Television Fund. Today, MPTF still supports the founder's vision of dignity, opportunity, and community in more ways than you can possibly imagine.
Motion Picture and Television Fund is our safety net.
What is this place?
It's a child care center for entertainment industry people.
Get at you!
It's not your typical daycare center.
It just blew my mind what a fantastic facility and what a beautiful environment they created there.
It's a beautiful place to live.
People that have worked hard are respected, are revered, and are taken care of.
The main portion of the work today is about safety.
Work is our life is our work.
It's been a blessing for everybody.
Genuinely, there's a feeling of family, of looking after everybody. And let's face it, all of us at certain times need help.
When a fellow industry member is in need, we've got their back. We're here to support them.
The fund does so much that you don't see here that's out there.
It's a lifesaver. Saved my life.
We are the ones who make it happen.
MPTF is all-inclusive. Whether you are a studio executive or a crew member, if you or your family have a need, MPTF will find a way to get you the information. All you have to do is ask.
We take care of our own.
It's important for those of us that are just starting in the industry to contribute any way we can so that money is there for those who need it and so that money is there for us when we need it.
Well, I hope you're as blown away as I was when I first found out about it. Coming into the business, Dr. Kaiser, late in life. I came into the entertainment business. I was 72 years young. So tell me about you. Where did you come from?
Sure.
Besides having to come from very good-looking parents, as you can see here, you could have been a movie actor. Wow.
Well, hopefully there's still hope for me at any age.
At any
right?
age,
so
you're right.
Maybe
Yeah.
a second career at some point. But no, I'm a geriatrician. So
I love that word, geriatrician. There we go.
Right. So a geriatrician is a physician who specializes in geriatric medicine, the care of older people, just like a pediatrician specializes in children. Right. So, which is pretty good training to have now, especially given the aging population, yes. Right? Mm-hmm. Right? We're about to reach the first time in human history when we have more people over the age of 65 than under the age of 18. Incredible.
Incredible. Right? Power to that age group.
Exactly.
I'll tell you that right now.
You're taking over.
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys are winning. And I hope to join you one day. So I'm a geriatrician, which means I went to medical school.
Where did you go, dear?
I went to USC, the Keck School of Medicine right here in Los Angeles.
Right.
Had a great education and training there. And then I went on to train in family medicine and that was in Lawrence, Massachusetts. Incredible program.
Okay.
It was really a community program.
What was that like? I mean, when you say family medicine, that takes care of the whole family, all the children, the grandparents. I mean,
everything.
Everything.
Womb to tomb, cradle to grave, however you want to put it. So I delivered babies. Can't even recall how many babies I delivered.
Okay.
The best was when you would take care of a mother to be,
right,
expectant mother, deliver the baby,
right,
and then continue to take care of the mother and the child, right? So really a generalist doctor who's available for the whole family.
And then now the family usually has sometimes living with them, especially today,
right?
The grandmother. And then, hello everyone, the great-grandmother, because that's what it's become.
That was incredible, taking care of a multi-generational family where you can take care of the little great-great-grandchildren and just on and on. So that's phenomenal. So I trained in family medicine, and then that's a 3-year training. After that, I went on and did a geriatric medicine fellowship.
Why did you do that? I'm curious. I mean, just ask a young man like yourself. Family medicine is great today to be in. Why did you choose that, doctor?
Well, first of all, I just thank my lucky stars. I really lucked out. There was a lot of serendipity involved.
Tell us about it.
Well, geriatric medicine, I just love being a geriatrician. And so how did I end up doing that? So first of all, early in my family medicine training, thankfully I had excellent mentors who really were able to identify that this was sort of a skill set I had, taking care of older people, really connecting with my older patients. But what I found was that, in medicine, there are many important parts of what a physician does, and certainly making a diagnosis, being a great diagnostician is important. But really what's most interesting to me is how do you help people manage illness and really achieve good health and well-being amidst the complexity of life, right? I would have patients who would come into the hospital again and again, and it wasn't because of some technical medical thing. It was because they didn't have food at the end of the month, or they couldn't afford to pay for medication, or there was nobody who could give them a ride, or maybe they were isolated and lonely and living alone, and we know that that's a real contributor to poor health.
So you saw that in the very beginning of your becoming a geriatrician.
Yes, but that, it was sort of just something in the back of my mind.
Right.
And then my grandfather, who had Alzheimer's, he was a wonderful hero of mine. He was a surgeon, a general surgeon. He had Alzheimer's, and he was hospitalized. And he was hospitalized in Boston. And what happened to him is what happens to many people who are older and have dementia who are hospitalized. He was confused. There were all sorts of specialists involved.
They don't know where they are. They're frightened.
And it was a very scary experience until the geriatric medicine team was called in. And they figured out that he had delirium and how to handle it. They got the specialists talking to each other to figure out how to coordinate the care. They, how about this, actually talked to the family to figure out what are our priorities, what do we need to better support our loved one, right? So that model, seeing that, just really sealed it for me. Said, I have the opportunity to do that. I have to do that.
You have to do it.
Yeah.
I was reading that there's 3 life stages that adults are most vulnerable to bouts of loneliness and being like frightened of the world. And I couldn't believe this. It's when they're in their 20s, mid-50s, and then late 80s. And I'm going, really? And they said that the loneliness and all that has gone up 29 to 32% in the last 40 years. I mean, that's unreal with the loneliness. Things can happen, stroke, heart attack, all that. And that's, I'm sure you've seen all the statistics.
Well, our former Surgeon General has been calling it a loneliness epidemic.
There you go.
It really spares no age. There are certain groups that are more vulnerable, and more likely to experience loneliness. But what we know is that, why is the Surgeon General, former Surgeon General of the United States, talking about this? Because this is a critical public health issue. Right? Loneliness can be as bad for your health as smoking.
That's it. That's
15
right.
cigarettes a day,
at
even
any
by
age.
one statistical
Doesn't matter.
analysis. Right. So it's unbelievable, and the particular impacts that this can have in the lives of older people are striking. And we all know that intuitively, but it's pretty impressive when you actually dig into the research that's been done around this and see what a significant risk factor this is. So that's why at the Motion Picture Television Fund, we've really taken action to do something about that.
And we're going to hear about that. I first want to mention that someone like yourself, you're young, you have a family, I understand, 2 children. How, when you first met the people in the motion picture home there, where did you see the most? Was it the loneliness? Was it the fear of anxiety? I mean, where did their fear come from? Because they're in a comfortable position right now. I mean, they're in a beautiful home. They have well taken care of, wonderful people around them. Where was the need there?
Well, it's interesting. So just backing up a little bit from that is that at MPTF, we are a charitable organization that exists to support everybody who works or worked in the television, film, and the entertainment industry, right? So that's a lot of people.
Yes,
you know, you're part of the industry now, but
you
know, a lot of people out there don't know. They don't realize. Next time you're at the movies, watch those credits at the end, and they go on and on and on.
The cameraman, the assistant cameraman, the makeup person. I mean, not just the stars.
Right. So we're there to serve everyone. People who are part of a union or a guild, people who are independent, people who work on sets, people who work in back offices, everybody in the industry. So that means everybody in a variety of situations and places. Of course, yes, we have an incredible campus, right, in Woodland Hills, where about 250 retired industry members live. And it is a remarkable place.
If you've never seen it, let me tell you, go online, because it is absolutely magnificent.
One of my colleagues referred to it as a national treasure.
Oh, I love
that. I really believe
it
is.
Yes,
because it's an amazing place where we really epitomizes what we do as an organization for everybody in the industry, which is support them in living and aging well.
Correct.
With dignity and purpose, and in helping each other in times of need.
I read that there was a program, which we're going to talk about now, in the UK called the Silver Line. You started a program called the Daily Call Sheet. I love that. I just love that. Can you go into that for us, Doctor?
Sure. So when we think about advancing that mission, supporting industry members in living and aging well with dignity and purpose, we think about a lot of things. That what enables somebody to do that? Well, we know healthy living, right? Good diet, exercise. We know it's about having a strong sense of purpose.
There you go.
We know it's about having outlets for creative expression and to enjoy beauty and the arts.
Right, social.
And we know it's about social connection, right?
That's
so
very important.
We recognized that while many industry members, and particularly when we were looking at retirees and older industry members, many of them had great social connections and were benefiting from that. But that said, some of our most vulnerable community members were really out there isolated, alone, and suffering the consequences. So when we learned about something in the UK called the Silver Line.
Yes, that's what I heard.
We knew we wanted to do something to reduce loneliness and isolation. So this was one program that really provided a template, one of several programs that really provided a pathway, really said, oh, that's a blueprint. What they do is they have a nationwide call center where people anywhere in the UK could just dial in and have somebody to chat with. And of course, people call to chat about all sorts of things, right?
Right.
They don't call and say, I'm lonely, talk to me, right?
No.
It'll be things like a holiday and say, oh, well, how do you cook a holiday ham?
Oh.
My wife used to do that, and I'd like to celebrate the holidays. Or, I haven't talked to anybody for weeks. It comes out, right? So then they have something with that called the Silver Line Friends, where you can volunteer.
Okay.
You dial in, and I'd say, hey, this is Dr. Scott Kaiser. I'm calling for my call with the Pink Lady.
Right.
Would you please connect us? And then we have a chat.
Okay.
Right. So that was one of many inspirations for our program, the Daily Call Sheet.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want to tell our audience something that normally we wouldn't really talk about, except to say that it was a success when we did it. There was a lovely actress.
We're not going to mention her name, but yes.
Well, there was a lovely actress who was in the entertainment field for 50, 75 years. Easy.
Right.
She started when she was like 5 or 6.
Right.
And one day I realized that someone told me that she was in a home, not the motion picture television fund home. And we went to see her. We walked into this room. Now, I know I'll cry. Walked into this little room, and here is this teeny tiny little person.
She weighed less than you do.
Literally.
Yes, literally.
Up against a wall in a fetal position, Dr. Kaiser, with tears. Thank you for coming. I mean, knew we were there, and we said, love, what's going on? And roundabout, making it a fast sort of thing, we got her to leave that place, come to your castle. It was a castle to her, and definitely to us. And this woman, from this fetal position, became a human being and thrived with you, thrived with the people that you have there. And when we went to see her, and she said, thank you. Thank you.
The thing that was most impressive to us is we went in and then we came back. We were there several times, and we saw the conditions. They weren't deplorable. Everything was clean. They had food, but it was isolation within isolation.
Right.
And that's when we contacted you, and you said you were just beginning a program. And I think, if I'm correct, she was the first person in the program. And what we saw while we visited those several times, she started off being totally quiet and literally in a fetal position. And by the time we left, 40 minutes later, an hour later, she was telling us about radio and doing voiceovers and commercials. I mean, and it was like we were sitting here having this conversation, but it was nothing like that when we walked into the room.
Yeah.
And then when
we went to visit her at MPTF.
At your place. Yeah. And I say your place because you've made it your place, Doctor, and it's fabulous. She was up and she was talking to other people that were her contemporaries.
Yeah. Well, I think social connection, meaningful, rich social connections. I could say it's a miracle drug, but it's more than that. It's oxygen.
That's right.
And people are starving for that oxygen.
That's true.
Right? And you have somebody, and I remember that situation, and it was just, it breaks your heart to see somebody, especially somebody who's given so much, who's so beloved by so many.
65, 70 years to the business.
I mean, and you just see that. Now imagine that multiplied over and over again, all of the people out there. So, we can only do so much. We're trying to do this for members of the entertainment industry community, but what we've done is we've found cases like that, found individuals like that, and really tried to help them by creating regular social connections. We recruit a whole army of volunteers who, by the way, they're getting a whole lot of connection and purpose
there you go.
out of this as well.
Now, do you need more volunteers?
Of course,
well, there's your audience, Doctor. How do they reach you? How do they get connected with you? Can you tell them,
Well,
please?
I think you just go to our website, www.mptf.com, and there will be plenty of opportunities to be connected. And I'll tell you also, so, we're doing this within the entertainment industry community, but we've done it in such a way that it can be replicated. So we're working with other community organizations to create
great.
similar programs
Great.
so that their volunteers can get out there and find the people who are out there isolated and suffering as a result, as you so well characterized with this
So
story.
It seems like a perfect match for people like the Veterans Homes of California.
Yes.
There are 9 homes throughout the state, and some of them have anywhere from 60 to 1,100 residents. There are so many volunteers. They may not be able to come in. They may not even be ambulatory themselves.
Right.
Yes.
But they could volunteer, and if they're especially a veteran, a woman veteran who can take calls from other women veterans that are in the home, it would be a great way to replicate the program.
That would be a phenomenal
How do they go
replication.
about it? How does a volunteer go about? Is there training or
Yeah,
what? Tell me.
so it's great. So first of all, I think that kind of replication, because what we found is really, you gotta find, it's a little bit of matchmaking. I think I missed my calling. I think I'm a matchmaker. I have a couple weddings under my belt actually too. But I think you gotta find. See, I first thought when we would start the daily call sheet, there are very few geriatricians in the United States, less than 7,000.
No way.
And that's
I
with
did not know
10,000
that.
people turning 65 every day.
Wow.
So I thought, okay, the daily call sheet, we can screen for falls, we can do med checks,
That's
we can do
right.
all this medical stuff that we do.
Right.
However, I was wrong.
Oh.
First, it's about a connection.
There you go.
Connection first. You build a relationship.
Yeah.
You build trust, because there's an erosion of trust in
Yes.
healthcare and in so many institutions.
Yeah, you're right.
You build a relationship, you build trust, all of those medical, technical things will follow. So I like this idea of having women veterans talking to women veterans where they immediately have some shared experience,
with them.
common ground, empathy, trust.
right.
So that's what we do. One is we have
It
a
was a great
volunteer
idea,
training
right.
program for people who are going to come into the daily call sheet program to serve industry members. And then 2, we do a training of other outside organizations to help them. We have a director, Maureen Feldman,
yes.
who is just a force. She's phenomenal, and she's really single-handedly taking on this
I was
whole-
looking at what she was called, and this blows my mind, a social isolation impact project manager. Hello.
Yeah, she's the director
wow.
of all of our social isolation impact
Wow.
projects. Daily Call Sheet's just one effort. But we're really committed as an organization to helping reduce this challenge in our community and making sure that we can enable others to take it on as well. This might be a public health epidemic, but it's not one that has to go unchallenged.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then if you will tell the audience again, the website, how they reach you, and then we'll have it in the lower thirds on the screen so that they can make sure that they reach out.
Absolutely. www.mptf.com. And it's beautiful because, you can learn all about our organization there. You can learn how to get involved, how to volunteer. And of course, we are a nonprofit. You can support MPTF.
Yes.
I mean, there are people living on our campus, out in the community, who've meant so much to so many of us. And yet, we don't, you might not think that they may be struggling and they may have real needs. We have people who are beloved by many who are struggling to keep food on the table and pay for medication and have real social needs and complex health needs. So we're always looking for ways to support this community and really to be a pioneer.
A pioneer in it. I have to tell you, one of the most delightful, I'd say 3-4 years of my life was as a volunteer at your place. And they said to me, oh, with your energy, Pink, you got to be the morning greeter. Well, I'm up at 5, right? And nothing scares me. And I said, well, what time do you want me to be there? Thinking age-wise, maybe 8, 9, 10. 6 a.m. I said, really? Why? Well, she says, because we get patients coming in all the time, as well as being here, that are up early, and also they go in for, say, operations. They come early. We'd like you to greet at the front door. And let me tell you something. I'm not going to mention names, but this one gentleman, fabulous actor, probably when I met him, maybe 85, 89, And as he walked in, he was coming in for a procedure. And I said, "Oh, my goodness, it's so-and-so." And I said, I love the way... And he looked at me and he said, "Thank you. Thank you for remembering who I am." So it's connection. It's giving them a purpose again.
Absolutely.
It just
and
is.
giving ourselves connection and purpose.
Right.
And it's just, I mean, first of all, we're just so fortunate to have had you as a volunteer. We need to have you back. But we're fortunate that you're a part of this industry
Yes.
community as well. And the work that you do, you know, getting out and spreading the word and inspiring others to really live well and age well, is a real gift to the community and the broader community. So
Yeah, I also want to bring greetings to you. When you and I first met a lot of years ago, Greg Lee, who was the commander of the Jewish War Veterans and now is chairman of the California State Veterans Commanders Council, representing about 7.5 million veterans in California. And he sends his greetings. He knew you were going to be on the show. And he's still as active and dynamic and important.
ever.
He is considered to be the voice of veterans before the legislature in the state.
Wow.
And we got together and met you that very first time.
Yes, well, we so appreciate that. And, you know, one of the things we do a lot of work around is trying to make sure that industry members and industry veterans who are also military veterans, that they're aware of some of the services and communities and benefits that are available to them. So we do a lot of work within that community of
What
people
would you
who-
say to our audience that you need besides naturally the monetary thing that you naturally would need? But what else do you need from our audience?
Oh my gosh, I mean, I think there's so many things that people can do, right? Short of course, opening up the pocketbook, right? But if you think about it, just become informed and engaged and involved.
Right.
People can give. People can volunteer.
Yeah,
people
please.
can come on and just like and do whatever they do on social media, follow, like,
Right,
watch,
right.
you know, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. Because I think that, again, what we're doing is really special for a special community, but also really enables others to be able to do this important work. We have an aging population, and that is a blessing. It need not be a curse, but there's a lot of work that has to go into it, and it's really about building community. So this is a great place for people to see what's going on, what we're trying to do, how we're trying to push the frontier, the cutting edge. Get involved, follow us, just check us out. I mean, that alone is really doing something.
Is doing it. Dr. Kaiser says it's about creating a platform where people can help each other so that we can all live well and age well, have dignity, and enjoy a sense of purpose. Dr. Scott Kaiser, you know what? You made my day. I know you have made other days with people out there who I'm hoping that you will volunteer. Again, your website, please, for everyone.
www.mptf.com. Motion Picture Television Fund.
And you can tell them when it's over or isn't.
It is never over until you and I say it's over. Again, thank you. We will be right back.
Thank you.
We are back. And we are back with a very, very good-looking gentleman, Mr. Larry Davis. Now, I first met you, Larry. Dove and I went to Oil Can Harry's. I have to say that right. It's a delightful little night spot. And a talented lady that we all know, Lori Donato, very sweet lady who plays the piano and was my musical director in a couple of things that I did, had an open mic. And one of the people that came into the open mic was this delightful gentleman, Larry. And he opened up his mouth and I went, wow.
I think I turned over and I said, book 'em.
Book 'em, right. And we did, for all of you to enjoy. So, Larry, tell me something. Where were you born?
I was born in Modesto, California.
A Californian.
You're the local guy.
I'm called a local guy, but my whole life I spent in Des Moines, Iowa.
Oh, okay.
My father was an itinerant musician, I guess, and he was out in California. And while my mother was pregnant, he wanted her to come out.
Oh.
And so I was born in Modesto.
I get it.
And stayed here for about maybe a year or so, and then we went back to Iowa.
And now, did your dad continue in the musical industry?
Well, I know that he was a janitor. He died when I was 5 years old.
Oh, dear.
So he was a bassist and a tap dancer.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
And
now,
I guess he worked in the evenings as a janitor. So.
God bless him.
Yeah.
He's probably watching now
Thank
and
you.
saying, you go. You go.
Oh,
now,
I
first
wish.
of all, I want to also thank you for your service because you were in the Air Force.
I was in the Air Force.
For how long?
From 1960 to 1964.
Chaplain Dove here was in
I went
how
in
long?
62 and came out in 68.
Oh, my
And I've been a
goodness.
chaplain now 57 years next month.
Oh, my goodness.
So how do you say Ray for the Air Force?
You just say,
Yay for the
off
Air
we
Force.
go in the wild blue yonder.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's a great song.
All of the Army, Marines, and Navy would always
Right.
say that we had the best food. We always slept indoors, and we
Yeah,
flew them
they
wherever
were
they had to
jealous
go
of
when
the
we
Air
went
Force.
home.
I
Right.
love it. I
They
love
were
it.
jealous of
Now,
us
you
all.
went to college, but you didn't take music up. What you took art. Tell us
I
about
was-
that.
I studied art at the State University of Iowa in Iowa City. And while I was there, I was interested in dance.
Oh.
So I got a group together and danced through college.
Wow. Are you a tapper?
Oh no.
No.
This is modern jazz.
Oh, modern
interpreted.
jazz. I love that. Okay.
Yeah. But that was just through college. When I got to the Air Force,
Yes.
I thought I'd dance.
They had other plans?
Not quite. Not quite.
They didn't quite like male dancing.
I see.
No.
Okay.
But we've had a couple of great performers on who were military also. Sheldon Craig came in and did our show. And we've had many others that have been.
Right.
Glenn Jasper was on the show. So
What did you do in the service?
Well, I was I'd studied art in college,
Right.
so I was a graphic artist, and so I did briefing charts and everything, like things like that.
And then when you came out of the service, you worked for ABC, I think, right?
I worked for ABC for 43 years.
How long?
43 years.
43 years. That's a long time.
As a
Wow.
graphic artist. So my singing in the service, see, I started to sing with this band. It was
Okay.
awful. It was awful. But so, I couldn't dance, so
You sang.
I sang. It was awful. And so after I got out of the service and I started working for ABC, I just forgot completely about singing.
Wow. And when did you pick it up again?
40 years later.
Wow.
I didn't have any aspirations of singing until a dear friend of mine was up on his roof of his house working up there, and he fell and broke his back. And I used to go to this piano bar in the neighborhood called The Other Side. It was very renowned, very renowned. And I would listen to this one pianist who would play Duke Ellington songs, Billy Strayhorn, Duke Ellington. And I was crying and drunk, and because my friend was just in such pain. And I asked the pianist to play some Duke Ellington, play a certain song, and then he said, well, I'll play that if you come up and sing Lush Life. I said, but I don't sing. Now, this is 40 years after or more than 40 years after that I last sung. And he said, I think you can sing. I said, I haven't sung in years. He said, no, I think you can do it. So I got up and sang, and it was terrible. Yeah, I thought it was terrible. He said, that was good. Come back next week and do it again. started my career.
Good for you. Good for you.
I've been singing for about a little over 14 years now.
Well, for me, when we heard you, it's like you were singing for all those 54 years. I mean, literally. And I appreciate your going back to something that makes you happy. You can see it.
I am happy singing. I think I'm a frustrated actor now.
But the thing that impresses me most when we see performers at a program like Laurie's at Oil Can Harry's, there are many performers, and then we not only know what we like, but we listen and we look at the reaction, the interaction, and you endeared yourself to the people who were there. They genuinely, I mean, you can see, you can tell the ones that are just there and the ones that are really into it.
Oh, I have fun.
And that's why you're sitting in that chair, because we want Pink's audience to get to see you and
enjoy it like we did.
And if you have a website, and maybe there are people that are booking an event, and here's the man.
Well, I do have a website.
Okay, let's tell everybody.
What is that?
Well, it's called Larry Davis Sings, but the S in Davis becomes the S in Sings.
Okay, so one S.
Yeah.
So it's Larry Davis
Sings with one S.
.com. I get it.
And just to make sure that everyone gets it, is we'll have it on the screen as they're watching.
Spelled the right way.
They can reach out to you after seeing the program.
Oh, okay.
So do you have some future plans, anything?
I'm working on a show right now to be done at the Gardenia.
Oh, good.
On May 17th. It's
Great.
called Kinda Country.
Oh, I like that. I love that.
I'm delving into country music.
Good for you.
It's not really country. It's country by country. It's kinda country.
Kinda country. I love that. We'll definitely tell people about it. Keep telling them to check the Gardenia Club for Larry Davis coming on. I want to thank you for being here with us today.
My pleasure.
And I know that our audience is, looking forward to hearing you sing. Your record album that everyone is seeing right now, Close Your Eyes.
That was my first one.
Larry Davis 2.
2.
And then your recent album, Touch. Now, how do they get those?
How do they get?
How do they buy them? How do they order
them? You can go on CD Baby.
CD Baby.
Or I forget what the other one is.
Or can they just go to your website and get it from that?
The website will tell you how to get it.
Okay, tell them again what the website is.
LarryDavisSings.com.
You have that, and that's with one S. Right. Larry, Larry, DavisSings.com.
Got it.
And we will be right back to let you hear my very good-looking dear friend give us a wonderful afternoon of singing.
No, thank you.
I'm gonna live.
Thank you.
This is a great
We're back. I tell you, I get all the good-looking men. I mean, I love this job that I do. Larry Davis is back with us, and you're going to be really taken aback at this sweet man's voice. And I'm going to let my audience see for themselves and hear for themselves. God bless you. Take it away, Larry Davis.
Thank you, Jackie. Close your eyes. Rest your head on my shoulder and sleep. Close your eyes. And I will close mine. Close your eyes. Let's pretend that we're both counting sheep. Close your eyes. Hey, this is divine. Music play. Something dreamy for dancing while we are romancing. It's love's holiday. And love will be our guide. Close your eyes. When you open them, dear, I'll be here by your side. So just close your eyes. Now the music plays something dreamy for dancing while we are romancing. It's love's holiday, and love will be our guide. Close your eyes. When you open them, dear, I'll be right here by your side. So just close your eyes. Just close your eyes. Close your eyes. Just lay on back and close them.
Yeah. Woo! I love it. I love it. I love it. Really sexy, really romantic there. I think we want another one, please.
Okay, this next one has been recorded by Frank Sinatra. It's called The Coffee Song. Oh. Way down among Brazilians, coffee beans grow by the billions, so they've got a lot of coffee cups to fill. They've got an awful lot of coffee in Brazil. Now you won't find cherry soda, 'cause they've got to fill their quota. And it looks to me as if they never will, 'cause they've got lots and lots of coffee in Brazil. No tea, no tomato juice, you'll see. No potato juice, 'cause the Santas down in Santa's all say no, no, no. A politician's daughter was accused of drinking water and was fined a great big $100 bill, 'cause they put coffee in their coffee in Brazil. Oh my, yeah, samba. Ah. Oh, you know, Brazil, you got to move. Ooh. I love the sound. There's no tea, no tomato juice, and you won't see potato juice, 'cause the planters down in Santa's all say, no, no, no. Oh, a politician's daughter was accused of drinking water and was fined a great big $100 bill, 'cause they put coffee in their coffee in Brazil. Nay, 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 you won't get latte in Brazil. But if you want real coffee and you like it strong and hot and black with just a little bit of cream, well, listen, you better get yourself some coffee in Brazil. Oh yeah. Olé.
Woo, yes.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you. Thank you.
You know what? The best part of Pink Lady Presents is the fabulous lives well lived. And as you can see, We do promise you lives well lived, and we give you lives well lived. Larry Davis, thank you. God bless you.
Thank you so
God bless everyone. We'll see you next time.
I'm gonna have my fling. I'm gonna live until I die. The blues I lay low, I'll make them stay low. They'll never trail over my head.